Hi friends, it's Deanna Willison with Our Blooming Catholic Life, and I'm excited to bring to you today the 2024 Ordo for the Personal Ordinariate of the Chair of St. Peter. I'm going to kind of look at it in contrast to the 2023 and see if there's anything different. If this is your first time hearing about this book, it's going to be a little different video for you, but I think you're going to get tons of things in it. Now, here's the thing. It's my mistake for not having reviewed this earlier. I do apologize because this is liturgical year. It's already started, Advent 2023 to Christmastide 2024, and my failure for not showing you this. I had it sitting here, and then we went on vacation, and it just didn't get done. Let's open them up just to the two title pages and see what's similar. All caught up. Let's see here. It's, if you're wondering, if you don't even know what this book is, it's for celebration of Mass according to divine worship, the Missal, and the Liturgy of the Hours according to divine worship daily office for the Personal Ordinariate of the Chair of St. Peter. Most people in America just call it the Ordinariate, but it is particular to the United States and Canada. It's authorized by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops and the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops. So let's see. It has the particular notes, which of course are going to be different because now we're in Year B, weekdays, Year 2. Okay. General notes, norms, and explanations. Then there will be abbreviations and symbols. Then the Ordo. So this year, it started in 2024. It started on the 3rd of December, and it goes to the 31st of December. Because of how Advent changes, this one started way back in November 27th in 2022. The appendices, let's see if they're the same. Abbreviations of the books of the Bible. Yep. Table liturgical days according to the order of their precedence. Yes, that table is very important. But here's a fun fact. Since you have the book, you don't have to memorize the chapter. You don't have to memorize everything or do work on that table yourself. It's the same as the St. Joseph's Guide for Liturgy of the Hours. It enables you not to have to memorize that table. The table is important. It is if you're backing up your decisions, but they've already used the table to figure out the precedence. Is that the right precedence? What feast outranks what feast, and if things get moved. That's why I have the Ordo. If you don't understand that yet, we'll try and get to that. And once you encounter it, you're like, I don't know which feast is more important. And what's feast? As there's memorial, there's solemnity, there's all different levels of feast. If you haven't encountered that yet, friends, it is a world to jump into. That table explains it to you, but luckily you don't have to do the work. The book has done it for you. And then number 3, special days in the life of the Ordinariate in its communities. Of course, everybody's going to have their own feast. Like, I don't want to ruin it for you, but since it's the Personal Ordinariate of the Chair of St. Peter, it's kind of a big deal when they have the feast of the Chair of St. Peter, right? So they're going to celebrate that one at a higher ranking. It's like if your parish is named for St. Joseph on St. Joseph's feast day, that's going to be, I believe it's called the titular feast, right? The title feast for your parish. And that's a big deal. Or for your fraternity, as well. When it's that name, it's going to be special for you. So this is special for the Ordinary and its communities. Appendix 4 is occasions when Mass texts of the day may be replaced. Again, that's going to be probably according to that chart. There's 5 regarding ever one God and the divine worship collects. Okay, that's carried over. So interesting that they carry that over. And then the necrology. Is there anything after that? The next thing. The next thing exactly the same. It is a short quote from St. John Henry Newman from Worship, a Preparation for Christ's Coming, Parochial and Plain Sermons, Volume 5, Sermon 1. It is the same exact quote. Okay. The particular notes on the liturgical year for this year. 8th of December is the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of Precept in the United States, but not in Canada. Same. Let's see. These are the holy days of obligation for the Ordinariate. The 25th of December, same thing. 1st of January, yep. Thursday of the 6th week of Easter, yep. kept on its traditional day 40 days after Easter, 9 days before Whit Sunday, exactly the same. 15th of August, the Solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, exact same. November 1st, Solemnity of All Saints, exactly the same. Then there is a note. Okay, here's a tiny difference. This is number 2 in the new book, whereas this particular note was not given a separate number last year. It's talking about whenever the 1st of January, the 15th of August, or the 1st of November fall on a Saturday or a Monday. So that's handled. Then, sorry, it's a little difficult because now they're not numbered the same. So the next one, note number 3 in the new book, is about the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. It's going to fall on a Thursday. It is a holy day of obligation. But in 2024, it is transferred to Monday, December 9th. But the obligation to attend Mass is not transferred to Monday. Figure that one out. It is a little confusing. Of course, that didn't happen last year, so they didn't note that. They talked about, Epiphany. The Epiphany note, I believe, is the same. Solemnity of the Epiphany was celebrated on a Sunday last year. It's a Sunday this year. And the Baptism of the Lord is going to be celebrated on Monday. It's a different date for Monday, but that's the same situation that you had last year. The Solemnity of Title, the Chair of St. Peter, celebrated on its calendar date. Last year it had to be transferred because it occurred on a Sunday. Nope, this time it's going to be on Thursday, the 22nd of February, which will take precedence over the Lenten weekday. So that's an important note. The Chrism Mass for the Ordinariate is going to be on Thursday, the 21st of March, which is Thursday in Passion Week, same thing that happened last year. That was to accommodate the travel schedules of the clergy, allowing them to return to their parishes for Holy Week. Solemnity of the Annunciation. Last year it was on the regular day. This year it's transferred to Monday, April 8th, in the week following the Easter octave. Solemnity of St. Joseph. This year it's on its usual date, Tuesday, the 19th of March. Last year it was actually transferred. The Feast of Our Lady of Walsingham, which is a big deal. It falls on a Tuesday this year. So the solemnity will be transferred to Sunday, the 22nd of September, beginning with evening prayer 1 on Saturday, including with EP2. Elsewhere in the Ordinariate, the feast is observed on Tuesday, and evening prayer 1 is not observed. So not at all the same as last year. Last year it happened on a Sunday, I believe. So very different circumstance. So those are the main notes. I'm thinking probably everything else, I would bet that almost everything else is the same, except for the Sunday cycle we're in year B, the weekday cycle we're in 2, the Sunday cycle year C will occur on the 1st, will start on the 1st of December of 2024. Okay, everything else so far is the same. It's explaining some of its abbreviations and symbols, even though the next chart is literally abbreviations and symbols. They're giving you some of them in the opening section known as General Notes, Norms, and Explanations. Okay, then there are the abbreviations and symbols. So DWN means Divine Worship the Missal. LEC means Lectionary for the Mass, Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition, Ignatius Press, 2006. And I think the main difference is in that lectionary, because I like to follow along. I'll set up my Bible the night before and kind of preview them. In the beginning, when I started attending daily Mass with the Ordinariate, what I was doing was setting it up for the readings and then going in. And then I realized sometimes the priest can choose between feast and feria, basically, and he may not choose what I thought he was going to choose. So how do I set it up? Well, what I did, there's a craft video showing you how I made a new section of ribbons to go into the back of my Bible. And I made my own ribbons, so my own colors. So if it was a feast of a saint, so feasts got a red ribbon, and the feria days got the green ribbon. That's how I remembered them. And then morning prayer I was marking with yellow ribbons, and evening prayer I was marking with blue. Here's the problem. You don't really need 2 for morning and evening prayer because the Psalms are continual. So you just really need 1 ribbon for that. I don't know what you color. You can make that if you could get a yellow and blue one together. That'd be really helpful. Or you could just have 2 yellows and just 1 blue. No, that doesn't work. The system I have just has the ribbon going up to the binding and back, so you have 2 of every color. I don't know. But you don't really need different ones for the moving of the Psalms. You just need it for the lessons. The lessons are what you need the different ribbons for. I lost where this is going. Oh, I realized at some point then that system also didn't work the best, because sometimes the priest is doing one reading maybe from Feast and one from Feria, or he was vested for one and did I don't know. I got confused. But what I found myself doing, you're like, so why even bother? It does make a difference. So what I started doing was using my Ordo, setting it up for the readings. And by setting it up, I mean, I looked at what the Ordo said were the readings and the lessons for the day. And I read them the night before I went, And then when I got to Mass, it wasn't the first time I've heard them in a while. So they were a little bit more familiar. So instead of focusing on the literal sense of the words, because I'd looked them up the night before. So if there were any words I didn't understand or a reference to another scripture, I could look all that up the night before. So when I was in church and hearing them in the Mass or in morning prayer or evening prayer, I was able to focus on the spiritual sense, and that was a game changer for me. And if I hadn't said it before, that's why I love this book. Okay. So the difference with the lectionary. The lectionary is a special book that the reader has. So if you're coming into a passage and it would say he said at the beginning of that passage, in the lectionary, it has that filled in, like Jesus said, or John said, or Mary said, whatever. So it gives you a little bit more context for the start of that passage. That's the main difference I've found. HDO is Holy Day of Obligation. OT, Ordinary Time, Tempus per Annum. MP is Morning Prayer. EP is Evening Prayer, with EP1 designating first evensong and EP2 second evensong. That doesn't happen all the time, but on certain feast days it will. PSS, which is funny because it's a capital P, lowercase s, lowercase s. Psst. It stands for Psalms, but for whatever reason that looks like psst to me. It cracks me up. A dark diamond shape means separating the citation of the readings at Mass and the lessons of the Divine Office. And so it's just showing you this is something, this is something. They are 4 different things. That's all. The next symbol is the paragraph symbol. If you've done any editing, indicates reference, but in here it indicates references to special rubrics and texts of the divine worship pertinent to the liturgical observance of the day, occasion, or season. Then this funny diamond symbol here, it's broken up. It's a diamond made of 4 diamonds. Designates on certain liturgical norms and decisions particular to the ordinary of the chair of St. Peter as determined by the bishop and his governing council. I have no idea why they are choosing these particular symbols. The cross, that one makes more sense. It introduces entries into the necrology of the personal ordinary of the chair of St. Peter. And that dark diamond, our very first one, wait, it can be used for other things. It is also used on Sundays and solemnities to separate the first reading from the citation for the psalm in the 1928 Coverdale Psalter. This is a work in progress undertaken to facilitate patrimonial Anglican chant. The verses listed may differ from the verses in the responsorial psalm given in the RSV CE2 lectionary due to any of the following: inherent verse differences in translations, expansion to full verses to facilitate the use of Anglican chant, incorporation of response as a verse, or changes made to correspond to the more recent lectionary as used in other parishes of the Latin Church. What that means, I have no idea, just see notes. It's funny, too, because some of those symbols are also inside a box, so they didn't say anything about the box, but here's what it looks like. So here's December 2023. It starts on the 3rd, which is a Sunday. It's also known as the 3rd Sunday of Advent. It's already told you at the top of the page what cycle we're in, sorry. Here's the color. It's going to be violet from the Divine Worship Missal. What page the creed is on, I guess. Then the lectionary is here. Remember, it told us it was going to be divided. Right? This is odd. One thing I liked about the Ordinariate was I felt that it was more continuous. when they did the Psalms. But this one's all broken up. Psalm 80, 1 through 3, 14 to 15, and 17 to 19. Well, that's disappointing. That was one of the things I found that I really liked about the Ordinariate, is that they didn't skip verses. And here it is doing it. Now, and just in the Psalms, but still. Interesting. What's up with that? And then like here, see, it's listed the Advent Feria, or you can do the Saint. And so it gives you the readings for both, and you can see those listed out depending on which you're doing. You can see me, I'm like, I'm not liking that. I really thought that was one of the things that I really liked about their morning and evening prayer, is that they didn't skip around in the Psalms. They did the whole Psalms. So I don't know if that's changed or that particular Psalm was always that way. Oh no, Psalm 72 was listed that way in the old book too. Wah, wah, wah. Now, there are 2 cycles for the Psalms. There is, this is saying like, do Psalms 146 and 147 for morning prayer. For evening prayer 2, it has you doing 111 to 113. Oh, I told you earlier it was continuous, and now it's not. Oh, but then the next day, that could just be because it's the first Sunday of Advent. The next one, it's Psalms 1 through 3, and then in evening prayer, it's 4 and 7. Oh, again, it is jumping around more. One of the things I liked is I thought it did all of them in order, but maybe I was wrong about that. Again, though, it's a little trickier in Advent, I think. Yeah, these are jumping around a little bit more. Okay, you will need all these ribbons. I apologize. Maybe it's the lessons that are more sequential. It could be the lessons. Although it jumps from Isaiah to 6 on the 6th to Isaiah 9 on the 7th. I do like that it lists, okay, today is a solemnity, so the requirement to fast from meat, nope, not today. So those notes are in a box, so even though they use the symbol, they do draw your attention to it with a box as well. Oh, interesting. They had added, so let me go. Is the 9th of December in here at the end? Why am I looking ahead? Because I know St. Juan Diego has been axed. So I'm wondering if he's taken out as well in the Ordinariate. I don't see it. I don't see him mentioned. I'm looking on his day. And because the Feast of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary had been moved to St. Juan Diego's day, he's been nixed. This book does not even mention it, so I don't think he's been moved. I think he's just been nixed, but they just didn't mention it. Wah, wah, wah. A little sad there. You want to see what the appendixes are, probably. So the appendix is in the back. It's standard abbreviations chart for the Old and New Testament. Table of liturgical days. This is very similar to how it is in the Liturgy of the Hours. It's not actually a table. 1, 2, 3. It's telling you. So things that happen in 1 are the most important, and the thing that is 1, the very most important. 1, 2, second most important. But all of these will outrank anything you find in here. And anything in here is going to outrank anything you find in 3. They're all totally in order. So you find what your feast day is on the chart, and then find the other day, find the 2 days and compare them. Special days in the life of the Ordinary. You're probably going to want to see that. It's a very important one. Occasions when Mass text of the day may be replaced. That is a true table. See down here. But that is above my pay grade. Regarding the ever one God and the divine worship collects, it's like a 5-paragraph description. That's pretty standard. I think it's in a lot of their books. The necrology is here in the back of your charity. Recommend these are departed brothers to the seat of divine mercy. It's very small because the Ordinary not having been around for a long time. So it's the Reverend Lowell Andrews, October 3rd, 2018. The Reverend Michael Birch, November 26th, 2016. The Reverend John Dale Cornelius, September 8th, 2021. The Reverend Monsignor Lawrence Gibson, July 29th, 2021. The Reverend Lucian Lindsay Jr., March 19th, 2018. So you could remember those departed brothers pretty easily. And then that's the whole book. Well, friends, I hope this has helped you. If you have any questions, I do have this book. I have the 2023 as well. I like that they color coordinate them. So everything for this year should have this color. This liturgical year should have this color. I have noticed that about them. Except, of course, the prayer book. Not thinking of the name. The little prayer, St. Gregory's prayer book is this dark red color. And the nice thing about last year was this was this color. St. Gregory's prayer book is almost this color, and so is the RSV CE2. They are almost all the same color, so that was really handy. So this year, if you want to be cutesy, you can cover your Bible and your missal in light blue. And then it just makes them easier to find around the house if they're all the same color. How do you do that? You can one of the easy ways to do that is to get some wrapping paper, which you should be able to buy on sale right now. Find some wrapping paper, this color on sale. You might even find it because it's like a Hanukkah color, or a New Year's color, so you may be able to find it pretty easily. And then you're like, well, but it's wrapping paper. The wrapping paper holds up very well. This was a trick I learned homeschooling because my son would have a spiral bound syllabus, and then he may have, because it was a great book school, he may have like 5 books that went with that syllabus. So I did a wrapping paper cover for all of them. And, okay, my son's kind of a neat person to start with and easy on books. But that wrapping paper stayed in great condition the whole time. If you're worried about it, get some clear contact paper and put that over top of this blue. Or if you can find light blue in that sticky reusable shelf paper, you know what I mean? You could use that as well and just recover that. And that is going to protect your Bible and your book as well. So that could be a really great option for you, especially if you have a paperback Bible. Mine's hardback, so I would make it more like the old school paper bag. You know what I mean? Those paper grocery bag covers. That is the style I do. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to want to watch the Hail Mary for my Bible. Now that I did completely sticky on to help reinforce, and you're going to get lots of great tips and tricks in that video. Friends, may God bless you and keep you. May make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the good Lord bless you. Nomine Patris, Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.